What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Devote 101. I am Nathaniel Donaldson, and today is going to be slightly different than normal or what has been done the past few episodes. I know I'm sitting here by myself, no guest, but also no short devotion thing. I felt like it would be better if I actually sat down and talked about this one. I'm at my desk, and yes, I'm in my own office now. I believe this is my first podcast second or third podcast that I have recorded in my own house, and very thankful for that. So I feel like the better way for me to talk about this subject is just for me to basically testify really about this past year and currently in the state that I'm in now. So for this podcast and episode, I wanted to talk about having your "it is well" moment. Now, obviously, "it is well" is actually not in the Bible. I couldn't find it anywhere. Matter of fact, I even searched on Google of phrases where "it is well" is stated. It's nowhere. It was just a song. I can't remember the name of the person who wrote it, but if so, I'll put it down below. But there are different versions of this song. But that phrase, "it is well," there's this particular song called "It Is Well," like a newer version that I listen to every now and again. And something about that song just resonates with me. I don't know what it is. Every time I hear that song and hear those words, I get so emotional. It's just a great motivation for me. So I'm going to probably have that song playing in the background so you can kind of hear it. I'll go ahead and go on with my testimony here. So obviously last year was a crazy one. Not going to get into it too much. I mean, pretty sure plenty of people have already done that. But the thing is, for me, it was a great test to my faith. If not for everyone, for every Christian out there, it was more than just a simple test. It was a big test for everyone. And I don't know, I have a lot to testify about, and I don't really know how to go through it. I haven't really planned it out. I just decided to sit down and record this. But when I think about the three words "it is well," the fact that it is just so powerful to me is the fact that you can just look your problems in the face and just say, "It is well with my soul." I don't know what it is that is just so powerful about that. It's almost like an ultimate faith keeper to just look at all your problems in your certain situations that you might be going through and just saying, "This is fine. I know who my God is. I know that He's going to lead me through it. He's going to bring me through it." Here this past year, and also some this year as well, up to this point, I have needed to be in my own "it is well" moment. Because when you come and face problems, your faith is obviously the number one thing that's tested. Are you going to keep your faith with God? Or are you going to lose faith in God? Now, this could be a very elementary topic and sort of thing to just sit down and discuss. But the thing is, I don't know why I feel like this is necessary right now. Like, for instance, I have been in my own "it is well" season, I guess you want to say, for quite a bit now. And my house is, for one thing, a great thing to be thankful for, and something I should testify about. So, me and my wife Andrea, we planned to get married around December 12th last year, and we wasn't sure if the house was going to be ready. Matter of fact, a lot of people were telling us, "Your house is not going to be ready by the time you get married because you signed on the house extremely late," and that wasn't our fault. And I probably should go through the whole testimony and just let everybody know what happened there. So, whenever me and Andrea first got engaged, we obviously went to go look for a house, and we picked out a house, and we really liked it, and we were hoping we could get it in by November. And I believe it was August when we were looking at these houses, and we found one, and it was this one. And We wanted it at least by November, hopefully early November. And they told us, okay, we're looking at, they were telling us that they were not going to get the house in until like the end of November. And we were like, okay, so that's kind of a big blow because we wanted it earlier. And when we did that, we were like, well, there's nothing we can do about it because the whole situation last year with COVID going around, it was actually delaying a lot of production for the company we bought the house with on making the houses because they were short on staff a lot because a lot of people had COVID or couldn't make it or got exposed, so it was slowing down production, so that's why it was going to be there so late. Usually they get the houses done a whole lot quicker. And so that was kind of a downer in a way. And so after that, we still had faith. We were like, well, we're just going to have to push the wedding back a little bit. And that's what we did. We had our wedding set for December 12th at this point because we were like, well, if they're not going to get the house until November 30th, then we can just put it there. And that was that. We were like, okay, that's going to be the deadline. We believe that the house is going to be here before that. And a lot of people were telling my wife, there's no way you're going to get your house that early. They said they didn't get theirs that early. It took them a while and stuff like that. But I'm like, well, I believe that God's going to work that out because I firmly believe that me and Andrea were to get married, and so I didn't see that being a problem. Okay, so we're going to fast forward to where we're starting to get the house process. I don't know what the date was of this time. It was probably like 2 weeks before we signed on the house. Someone came and did our dirt pad, and I was thinking thought that was kind of early, you know. I mean, we weren't going to sign the house until like 2 weeks after that. We went and signed on the house on Black Friday, and while we were signing our signature like 1,500 times, we got to the last one, and our salesperson that sold us the house, he said, when he was looking at the house, he goes, oh, this is the house that we did the dirt pad early for some reason. He's like, we never do that. He said, usually we usually wait till the day of that we sign for the house to schedule a time for someone to come out there and put the dirt pad down. And for some reason, our house, they put the dirt pad down 2 weeks before we signed. So that was God right there. I was kind of like, that's kind of insane. See, I'm not even done yet. I'm not even done with the story yet, and it's already insane how that worked out. So that was God right there. I'm very thankful for Him doing that for us. And I'm not even done with the story yet. So we were like, well, this is awesome. So they said, okay, they'll be calling you sometime next week on when they'll bring the house. We're like, okay, cool. So keep in mind, our wedding date was December 12th, and we were going to go on a honeymoon from the 12th to the 16th of December. And we were trying to figure out, before we went on our honeymoon, when they were going to bring the house and all that, because, you know, we kind of wanted some stuff almost done before we even got to our wedding day. And so they called Andrea and scheduled a time. They were like, okay, so we can't bring the house until December 17th. So that's after our honeymoon. And you know they bring the house. It's not hooked up yet. They got to bring a crew after. They bring the house. Then they got to schedule a time for a crew to come out there and hook up everything. Then we have to get somebody to inspect it. Then we got to get Energy to come turn the power on. All that has to be done. And they said they wasn't going to bring us the house until December 17th. And we were just, okay. Let me preface this. Andrea texted me. I was doing something, and she said they can't bring it till the 17th. And I don't know why. For some reason, I didn't even get doubtful when she sent me that text and when I read it, because I was like, I don't believe that's a done deal. I'm not ready to give up faith that it won't be done before we get married. So I just said, it'll be all right. I got faith. I'm not worried. And then she texted me like 5 minutes later, and she said, they just called me back and said they can bring it on December 7th. And I was like, it wasn't a matter of 5 minutes. Now, Andrea told me, she said, after she got off the phone with him, because the woman told her there's a possibility it could be moved up, but for right now it's the 17th. And Andy said she said a prayer to God. She said, God, I believe that you can move it up. If you can move it up, please do that right now. And after she sat down, the woman called her back and told her the date got changed. And so that was the 7th to when they were going to bring the house. So now we get to the point where it is December 4th. It's a Friday. I was off work, and some of my friends had planned a little surprise bachelor party, whatever thing for me. And Andy called me before I left and said, they just called and said they can bring it today, which was the 4th. And they asked her, I said, is it okay if we bring it today? And Andy was like, absolutely. I'm not going to say no. So that was God again moving that date up the 4th instead of the 7th now. And then we were trying to schedule a time for people to come do the electric work and the plumbing, to do all that stuff. The day before we got married, they called us and said they'll come that next Monday. And this was the Monday following our wedding day, which was on a Saturday. So that would be the 14th. That's when they can come hook all that stuff up. Okay, that's good. At least they're coming while we're on our honeymoon. We were hoping it would be ready by the time we got back so it wouldn't be, quote, homeless. They did come and do those things Monday. And also the inspector guy came, I believe it was Wednesday, the day we were going to come back from our honeymoon. I believe it was that Wednesday. And he called us and said, got it inspected and everything's ready to go. Ready to turn on the power. So all we had to do now is just let Energy know and they come turn the power on. And they came and did it that Friday, I believe. And we got the heat turned on and we were ready to move in by I believe the 18th or 19th of December. So there you go. That was the quick testimony about the thing of my house being worked out. Now my grandfather told me when all this stuff got worked out, he said, you need to be thankful to God for that. He said, because I've never really seen a house get ready that fast. And I think someone said to Andrea, said, remind me not to come against you. The Lord's on our side in this, and that's what was very comforting about this whole house situation. We know that God's on our side. He was really just showing off of what he can do, and I never doubted him through it. So that's the testimony about the house. Getting to my point here, it's best to think about the times of when God has actually done something for you, because this next thing I'm going to get to is it's so ironic and so funny how God will do something amazing for you in this certain situation, and then something else comes out of left field, and then somehow you just lose faith. I don't know how. I guess it's just our flesh in us that just does this. But with my current job, it's making. I'll just preface this. I'm not going to get into too much detail with that, but with my current job, it pays well. I'm able to pay the bills. It's 4 on, 4 off, so I'm working 4 days and I'm off for 4 days for most of the time. But sometimes I have to work overtime, and so it's like 6 days on, only 2 days off, and then go back for 4 days. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to work and have a job in this crazy time that we're living in. But the problem is that it's really keeping me from church a lot, because working a lot of overtime is not allowing me to go to church as much as I would like to, because I did have a job right before this one where I would work 4 on, 4 off, but it would be consistent 4 on, 4 off, so I knew what my schedule was. But this job, it's very difficult to predict the schedule, because I don't get the schedule until like Friday of every week, and so I can't plan ahead until I get that schedule. And also, it's a very rough environment. You work in a plant, it really tests your faith, tests your own character, tests your strength, and that's for sure. And there's been plenty of times I've just wanted to quit and just walk out. And my wife really helps me. She helped me through that whole bit, because Every time I think about everything she's done for me to help me, she's been there a lot to help me get through these moments, to help me maintain my faith. And she's reminded me about what God's done for us, and for me specifically, and for her specifically, and for us as a couple. So, with the season that I'm in now, I am in that it is well season, that it is well moment. I'm at the point to where I'm like, you know what, Lord, whatever you do with my life now, I trust you. I put it in your hands. It is well with my soul. I have no reason to doubt God, because of the story I just told you, and the stories that I've mentioned before in the past episodes, and also of the stories that people that have come on the podcast have told. There has been so many things to build people's faith. You know, iron sharpeneth iron, and that's why we need to testify to our friends, our workers, if we get the opportunity, to our family. You know, that's what it boils down to, is being able to hold steadfast. It's so powerful to be able to look your problem in the face and just say, it is well with my soul. Think of Job. Job is a great example when it comes to thinking about someone that holds on to their faith when they're in a rough situation. Now, don't get me wrong, he did question God. He did have that moment, but then he also has the it is well moment. Lord, though you slay me, I will still love you. There's no explaining on why God does some things that he does. And you know, there's people that have these certain slogans that say everything happens for a reason. I like to say everything happens for an opportunity to make a choice on what you're going to do. You have an opportunity to maintain your faith and believe in God that he's going to work it out and he's going to pull you through it. Or you have the other alternative choice to turn your back and just say, no, I'm going to do it my own way. I've had those moments, and I've done that before. But I sit here today to tell you, whatever situation you're going through right now, and if it's testing you, I don't know who this is for. I don't know. This may just be me talking today. But whatever situation you're going through, I don't care how tough it is. There's nothing more powerful that you can do than look at your problem in the face and tell him it is well with my soul, because I know my God will pull me through it. James 1:2-4. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Just remember that whatever situation you're going through, think about what God's done for you. Think about the times that you were faithful. And if you don't have a time to think about where you haven't been faithful, make it this time. Telling God that you solely believe in him, that he's going to work that situation out, is so powerful. And telling him that it is well with your soul. God, it is well with my soul to know that you are on my side. If you believe in that and believe in God, I believe that it's going to work out no matter what's going on. Even in my situation that I'm in right now, with my work and my job, you know, it may be testing, it may be trying and hard, but I know my God's going to bring me through it and bless me tremendously in the coming days. So, I don't believe I have anything else I have to say or add to that. I actually didn't plan on going this long, but here we are. So, without further ado, thank you all for taking the time to listen to this, and as always, be ready.
Through it all, my eyes are on you. And through it all,